Hi friends, welcome to Almost Live Stamping with Charlene. This is my pre-recorded video tutorial where I will join you live in the comments and we can watch along the pre-recorded tutorial. For today's video, I am so excited to show you the Magic in This Night suite from the mini catalog. I am going to combine my stamp class in the mail for September with my 5 cards, 1 easy layout, and we are going to create 5 fantastic Halloween cards. I'm only going to show you the tutorial for one of the cards. Stay till the end and I will show you 4 additional designs that you can make with the September card class in the mail. All you need to do to participate in that is purchase the Magic in This Night bundle, which is on page 53 of the mini catalog. It includes the Hallows in the Night stamp set and the Halloween Magic dies. These are the 2 items that you need to purchase as a bundle. And if you do that for the September card class in the mail, you will receive for free, with free shipping, all of the pre-cut supplies, paper, ribbon, embellishments, envelopes that you will need to create the 5 cards that I'm going to show you tonight. Like I said, I'm only going to show you the tutorial for one of them in this video, but if you do participate in the September card class in the mail, you will receive the link to a private video which goes through each and every card in this card class step by step, so you will know how to make all of them. Like I said, it's 5 cards, 1 easy layout, and the layout that we're doing for this group of cards is a double easel fold card. And what's great about this is that I have made it so that you can use part of the card as a gift card holder, or you can put a tiny piece of candy, like a little miniature chocolate bar or some other fun type of flat candy inside part of the card, and then you still have plenty of room to write your sentiment. You can even fit a little bit of cash in there. And the card doubles as a desktop decoration. So let me show you the card that we're going to be doing. Here is a look at the card for our September card class in the mail. This is called a double easel fold card. Here is the first fold that makes it into an easel, and then it's just like a regular card, and then we just add this part on top. So it stands up like this. You can see that in the camera there. So you attach your gift card here. You can either decorate this part, put this little strip here to hold the gift card, hold some cash, and like I said, hold a piece of candy. You can decorate the little strip. You'll see the different, at the end of the video, you'll see the other different cards that I made. And then you open it up and you can write your little message in here. But the another benefit to this is that the person can put it on their desk or on their dresser, in their bedroom, on their bookshelf, anywhere, and use it as part of their Halloween decoration. And they can keep it and use it for a long time to come. So there are different elements to this card. We are using a lot of the things from the Magic in This Night suite. Actually, the things that we're using are from the Magic in This Night suite collection. I'm using all of the different elements, but as part of the September card class in the mail, I'm just asking that you purchase the Hallows Night Magic bundle. That's right here on page 53, and then I will send you all of the pre-cut designer series paper and ribbon and the black glitter paper, enough of the pearls that you'll need. I will not be able to emboss for you like I'm going to show you on the first this card that I'm making now. I cannot pre-emboss for you because this is a current item, and it is against the Stampin' Up policy for me to do that for you. But I will send you the paper, the pre-cut paper, and if you have a similar embossing folder, you can use that, or you can purchase this one. Okay, so let's get started with this card. For the base of the card, we're going to use a piece of cardstock as we would just to make, if we were going to make a regular card. This is 4 1/4 by 11 and we scored at 5.5. Okay, so that is the basic card. And then what I did was I took a piece of Whisper White cardstock, and for today's card, I'm gonna use the Stampin' Seal Plus. I want you guys to see how it works. Instead of using the multi-purpose liquid glue, I'm gonna use the Stampin' Seal Plus. And whoops, let's just take the cap off first. And you just use it like you would any of our previous adhesives. I like the Stampin' Seal Plus because it is really strong. So the piece for the inside of the card is just 1/4 inch smaller. So this is 4 inches by 5 1/4. And I'm gonna put this on the inside, just like that. And you will see that on my card, I took the bat stamp and I stamped that on the inside. So you're gonna wanna do that. I stamped this in Memento ink. So we are going to take this really fun double bat stamp and let's ink this up with Memento ink. And we're gonna stamp it just in the lower right-hand corner of the inside of the card, just to give it a little more bit of oomph. And like I said, somebody can put this on their dresser and use it as decoration. So when someone picks it up, they will see that it has this little extra pizzazz to it. Now, when you have that stamp out, take your envelope and go ahead and stamp the bats on the side of your Whisper White envelope too, to give it some more flair. So for the next layer, what we're gonna do is take a piece of Blackberry Bliss paper, and this piece of paper measures 4 by 10 1/4. It's scored at 2.5 and 5 inches. And you want to, let's place this piece of the cardstock, the larger part, we're gonna place on top of the basic black cardstock. We're gonna center it on there like that and adhere it down. And then you just want to, on the score lines, fold that away from you and then fold this part towards you. And that is how easy it is to make the double fold easel. And now it's just up to you to decorate each part how you want to decorate it. Let's take a closer look at the layer that I put on top of the Blackberry Bliss. This is Pretty Peacock cardstock, and I used the embossing folder, the Cobwebs 3D embossing folder, to emboss each piece of that cardstock. So I'm going to show you now how we are going to use the brand new Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine with the 3D embossing folder. And I am going to emboss 3 pieces of Pretty Peacock. This piece here, the larger piece, measures 3 3/4 by 5 inches. And then the 2 smaller pieces measure 2 1/4 by 3 3/4 inches. Okay, so let me go ahead and show you how we are going to use the brand new Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine to emboss with the Cobwebs 3D embossing folder. I love how compact the machine is when the sides are folded up. So to use the machine, you just unfold the sides. And what's great about the plate is that each plate is numbered, and it just tells you on here on plate number 1 what plates you have to use if you're using a Thinlit or a regular embossing folder or a 3D embossing folder. So we are going to be using the 3D embossing folder, which is the Cobwebs. And for this one, we need to use 1 and 4. So I am going to grab, I have plate 1 here, and I'm also going to grab plate 4. And you'll see on here that you just, you see the picture of plate 1, and then you see the embossing folder, and the cardstock is this white piece that's inside the embossing folder, and then plate 4 goes on top. So let's build our sandwich. Plate 1, and then we will grab our embossing folder and place our cardstock in there, like that. Place it on plate 1, put plate 4 on top, and then just run it through the embossing machine. And it comes out, it gives you, the 3D embossing folder gives you such a nice, deep, embossed image. And you can even flip it over if you want and use the debossed side. It's up to you. So one is embossed, so it's raised, and the other one is debossed, so it's indented. And then we are going to do the same thing again with the 2 smaller pieces. And we can do these both at the same time. Put both pieces in there, get them as straight as you can. Since this image is kind of, you know, it's kind of funky in its own right. So if the pieces of paper kind of move around and aren't exactly straight, it won't be the end of the world. So we're gonna do that one more time with the 2 smaller pieces. I love the ergonomic design of the handle on the new Stampin' Cut Emboss machine. It just makes it so much easier to run the items through it. And these are the 2 smaller pieces. So now that we have our base card, we have our next layer, which are the 3 pieces of embossed pretty peacock paper. Before I adhere these to the card, I'm going to take one of the smaller pieces, and I am going to take the metallic mesh ribbon, and I want to attach some of this ribbon to this bottom piece. Let me put the sample up here so you can see what I'm doing. So I will take my ribbon scissors and just cut a piece like that that will fit around. You don't have to go all the way. And I am going to attach that with some tear and tape adhesive to make sure that it is stuck down nice and tightly. And I'm going to pull it a little bit taut. Hi. And then you can leave the backing on if you want, or peel it off. I say the more adhesive you give something, the better. So let me just peel off the backing on here. And then I will take my Stampin' Seal Plus, put some on here, just a little bit, and then we will adhere this piece to this first portion of our double easel fold card, just like that. And then we can go ahead and attach the other pieces, and just, you probably want to make sure that if you're using the emboss side, you use the emboss side on all 3 pieces, and vice versa if you're using the deboss side. So, whoops, gotta be really careful because this is, the Stampin' Seal Plus is really strong. So see how I just ripped the cardstock there, so you have to be kind of careful with that. And there we go. Now, don't you guys love how these colors pop? I love the basic black with the Blackberry Bliss and the Pretty Peacock. Okay, so while we're at it, why don't we go ahead and put all of our next layer down, okay? So you'll see here, I have a square vellum doily, so I will go ahead and put a tiny bit of adhesive on. Let's just put it on the card base like that, and then we will adhere the square vellum doily, and then let's just move down the card. The next piece that we have is a piece of This is 1 inch by 3 1/4 inches Blackberry Bliss cardstock that I'm going to put here on the bottom, right underneath the doily. And now to make this little band that holds the gift card, this is just a piece of 3/4 inches by 4 inches of Blackberry Bliss cardstock. And what I'm doing is I'm just going to take a piece of tear and tape adhesive and put it as close to each edge as I possibly can so that we have enough room to hold the gift card. And then let's peel the back off of this. And we will put this right here. You can put it in the center, you could put it down a little bit lower. I'm just gonna put this one in the center, and like you will see on some of the other cards, I have decorated the little band, but for this card, I'm just gonna leave it blank. Okay, so now let's punch out the, we're gonna use the tailored tag punch and punch that out. And we are going to adhere this with some Stampin' Dimensionals. Isn't it funny that I just instinctively turn it over when it really doesn't matter what side it is? And I am going to adhere this to the center. So I'm just working layer by layer. Okay, just like that. Press it down nice and firmly so that the adhesive kind of, sticks through the mesh. Okay, so now we have all of our bottom layers. So now let's go back, and why don't we go ahead and use our 1.5 inch circle punch, and we are going to take a piece of the Magic in This Night Designer Series paper. It's this piece that has the black and white stripes on one side and then the Cajun Craze flowers on the other. And the reason for this is to cover up the adhesive. So I'm gonna kind of make it look like a moon. So I'm just gonna punch out a circle and then put a little bit more adhesive on there and try to make sure, I wanna put it, I don't want it to be right in the center, but I'm gonna just put it up a little bit to make sure I cover the adhesive that I used to hold down the doily. Okay, so the next thing we want to do is, why don't we go ahead and stamp the sentiments, the Happy Halloween and the Open If You Dare. For the Happy Halloween sentiment, this is a piece of Whisper White cardstock that's 3/4 inches by 3 1/4, and I am using Blackberry Bliss with the Happy Halloween stamp. So we will get that all juiced up, and we will try to stamp that as straight as we can. Okay, and then we will use our Stampin' Seal. I'll just put it right on here because I want that ink to dry. We are gonna just put this right there, like that. And then let's take the Open If You Dare stamp with some Blackberry Bliss ink. And we will stamp this on Whisper White. And then we will once again use the 1.5 inch circle punch and center that, punch that out, and we will adhere this to the center of the tailored tag punch. So now all of our stamping is done, and we are going to move on to the final part, which are the die cut bats, and is it killing you, those little googly eyes, and this little fencing part. So let's grab our Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine again. I want you to notice something about the dies and the Designer Series paper. Look at the bat dies, look at the Designer Series paper. These dies fit directly over the bats, which means I am going to cut out the bats with the die so the edges will be perfectly straight. So just find a piece of cardstock where the image will fit with the die. So I am going to use this piece right here. I'm gonna cut this piece out and run it through my Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. Since I am using a thinlet die, I'm going to follow the directions on plate number 1, and I'm going to use 1, 2, and both of the 3. So I will put down plate number 1, and then I'm going to put down plate number 2. And what's great about this is that plate number 2 also has the instructions on it. So you don't have to keep going back to plate number 1. You can just look at plate number 2. So 1 and 2, then I'm putting down 1, plate number 3. I am going to put down my designer series paper and line up the die over the bats like that. And coming soon is a magnetic platform. And then I'm going to put number 3 on top like that and then run it through the machine. And this is so lovely. I now have 2 bats that I cut out right from the designer series paper. Now I wanted to give my bats a little more oomph, so I am taking a piece of Blackberry Bliss cardstock and I'm going to place that on top of one plate number 3. And I'm going to take the bats again and I am going to cut out another set of them. I don't know if you noticed this, so those of you with keen eyes, when you looked at the card first, but I layered a piece of Blackberry Bliss bats underneath of the other one. So I will show you that in a minute. But we have one more piece to run through our machine. This piece here, which I just like to call like a spooky looking fence. This is a piece of the black glimmer paper, which I love because it's very thin, just like a little bit thicker than a piece of copy paper. It's glittery, but it's not glitter, so it doesn't come off and get everywhere. And I know I have a daughter who's allergic to glitter, believe it or not, and her hands get all swollen and red, so this is the perfect glitter paper for her to use. So this is 1 inch by 3 3/4 inches. It's the same length as the smaller piece of Pretty Peacock paper, and I'm just gonna center this on there like that, put my other number 3 plate and run it through the machine. And now we can put away our Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine because we are finished using that on this card. And when we take this off, we just want to make sure that we get rid of all those little indents, and it's really easy. Just kind of curl the paper up and they will just pop right off. So now let's get back to our card, and for this we do want to use some multi-purpose liquid glue, and we want to put a little bit on the bottom, the bottom portion here. Not too much, the bottom portion. And then we want to carefully insert it underneath this piece of Pretty Peacock. Just like that. And there is our spooky little fence, which just gives even more dimension. Do you see how it lays down like that? And this is looking more like a moon. Okay, now I think we only have one part left to do, and that is our bats. So you can see, if you look closely here, how I kind of offset the designer series paper bat with the Blackberry Bliss. Ooh, try to say that quickly, bat. So I think since I have it out, I'll just use some of my multi-purpose liquid glue and assemble the bat like this. You do not have to do this, but I just thought it looked a little spookier. So we'll do it with that large one and then with the small one. I love that Stampin' Up! Has coordinated some of the dies with the images on the designer series paper. It makes it so much easier and just even more coordination. Okay, and let's just go ahead and adhere these while we have our multi-purpose glue. And now let me tell you that if you do participate in the September stamp card class in the mail, I will also include the googly eyes for you. so that you can adhere them to the bats. I think that they're just so darn cute when they have those little googly eyes on there. And let me just quickly show you how to adhere them. They are kind of a little bit tedious, not too bad. So let's just get 4 little eyes out, and all you want to do is take your glue dot and just take one off with your finger and roll it into a little ball, and then just stick it on the back of the tiny, tiny googly eye, and then put it on top of your bat. I recently watched an Instagram story. One of my friends had a bat in her house. That would, should I say it? Drive me batty. Ha ha ha. I don't know what I would do. I really don't. Maybe, I mean, they probably are very docile animals. They've just gotten a bad rap. Okay, so those are our little bats, and there you have it. So you will notice, oh, one more thing. One of my favorite new items from the catalog are the Iridescent Pearls. Look at the colors on there. It brings out the Blackberry Bliss and the pretty peacock. They are so fun. So I just use my finger and lift them off, and I put one here on one side and one on the other. And now we are finished with our first card. Isn't that amazing? It is just so fun, so darn fun. You know, at first I thought, wow, these colors and this paper is kind of like dark. But with the googly eyes and just making it really fun, it doesn't have to be scary. Halloween can be really fun, right? So let's look at the other 4 cards. Oh, and remember, this has the inside that we stamped and the coordinating envelope. So let's look at the other 4 cards. Look at this one. I just used the mesh, the metallic mesh, and tied a bow on the side. There's magic in this night. Look at the spider with the little eyes. Ah! And then we have, instead of making this a gift card candy holder, I just put some spiders here and some bats going up. This is a stamp that comes in the stamp set, and 2 different dies that you can layer. You'll see here. It's this stamp set, this stamp, and then the 2 framelits going around it. And then the spider is a stamp and a die. And then I also did the bats on the designer series paper. And then these smaller bats, these are not a stamp, but they are a die, 3 different size bats. And on this one, I put spiders on the inside, and I put spiders on the envelope. I love this one. I love the Blackberry Bliss. If you'll notice, this paper it's flowers in the background, so it's kind of like eerie. Ooh, and then this piece has bats on the background. Our next card uses a lot of the pieces of designer series paper, and I think a lot of the dies too. This is a flower die. And petals that come in this die set. I use the Iridescent Pearl here, the metallic ribbon. You'll see the 3 different designs of designer series paper. This is a gift card or candy holder. I used some of the black glimmer paper to make some of the flowers, the trick or treat, some more of the iridescent pearls, and another little bat. And then on all of the cards, I used a vellum doily, which, isn't it interesting how it takes on a spooky feel when you're using it with this designer series paper, but if you use it like with the peony cards that I made a while ago, it kind of takes on a different feel. And then once again, the spooky fence. I love this one with the black and white designer series paper and the pretty peacock cardstock with the basic black cardstock. This one I tied the metallic bow in the center, and here's a little spider peeking out with some googly eyes. Happy Halloween. And now if you ever have, oh, there's also the doily here, but if you've ever accidentally, wink wink, stepped on a spider or kicked a spider, and all of a sudden thousands of babies come running out of that spider. That's what inspired this card. There's one spider there, and then you open it and there's all the other little spiders with all their little googly eyes on them. I love this. I love the color combination on this one. Let's see, on the inside of this one, of course, I put some big spiders going along the bottom, and then I put a big spider on the coordinating envelope. This one is really fun with the owl and the bats. Tied the metallic bow on the side, open if you dare, and you'll see here that on the strip for the gift card holder, I did decorate this with some of the iridescent pearls and some little bats that I made with the die. So we have a lot of little bats. And then you'll say, there is no owl die. How did you get that? There's not an owl stamp. There's not an owl die in this set. How did you get that? Well, this was an accident. I actually die cut 2 of the big spiders. And if you cut 2 spiders near each other, it kind of looks like an owl in between there. So this was kind of a random accident. So I put some little googly eyes on there. But I love this one too. The pretty peacock, this color combination, I just cannot express to you enough how gorgeous it is. It's so elegant. So these are all elegant Halloween cards. On the inside of this one, I stamped the double bat stamp, and then I also put that on the coordinating envelope. So wasn't that fun? I love all of those cards, and I usually do not send Halloween cards. I really never have had a need to, but as you'll read on my blog post, I have a feeling that Halloween 2020 is going to be a lot different than Halloweens of the past. I'm not sure if trick-or-treating is going to be the way we're used to, if Halloween parties are even going to be permitted. So now is a great time. It's the perfect year to make Halloween cards. And like I said, you can use it for a gift card. You can put a little bit of cash in there. You can put a piece of candy, write a nice sentiment. You can hand out the cards, give them to your friends and neighbors to use. It's a great time to do that. So I would love, love, love to have you as part of my September card class in the mail. It really is a lot of fun. And be sure to place your order by midnight Eastern on September 12th, Saturday, September 12th. That way I can order all of the supplies, prep them all to you, and they will be mailed out free shipping the week of September 21st. So you will have plenty of time to make all of your Halloween cards. So once again, thanks for watching Almost Live Stamping with Charlene. I hope you had a great, great time. Be sure to follow along, hit subscribe, click the little bell so you can get an alert every time I post a new video. And once again, thanks for watching. I really appreciate your support, and I love stamping with you. Thanks again.